Well, hi, I'm MarBeth Dunn, and welcome to a conversation about peace with my lovely guest, the amazing Emily Rivera, who is an international speaker, intuitive, and an angel coach. Emily, welcome.
Hi, thank you so much. I am honored and grateful to be here, and really just looking forward to how Spirit is going to move through our conversation and being in service and just being of love and support through this. So looking forward to it. Nice to meet you.
Oh, wow. So wonderful to have you here. I just really wanted to do this interview in person, this conversation in person,
Yes.
because I love your energy.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I feel the same way, which I'm sure you all know. She is an earth angel for sure.
Oh.
So thank you.
Well, thank you. So let's talk a little bit about the ascension.
Yes.
Where does that come in, and what does that have to do with our feeling more peaceful?
Yes. And thank you. I want to celebrate that in so many ways. All of us have been in that journey of ascension, even those that do not remember that they are in the journey of ascension. And part of it requires, thank you. And so part of what unfolds with me is that I do hear guidance. Thank you. And it's interesting because it's part of what we shared before we started is the power of choice. You know, that energy of ascension is something that is already happening within all of us and being pulled within by all of us and for all of us. And it's really about the choice of engaging into where and how we want to be part of that ascension and understanding that, thank you. And what they're saying, it's part of the evolution that is not ever going to be missed. So it's like whatever fear we have at times that it might be missed, or what if it's not happening fast enough, or what if I'm not doing enough for myself or others to get them there. It's something that, thank you, that shall never be missed. But it's about choosing as often as we can, and you even talked about this morning and the choice you made. It's about how much we are choosing to dwell in that availability, thank you, ability to join the Spirit in the ascension that is unfolding for all of us.
Ooh.
Through us, thank you. They're saying that it's unfolding for us, through us, and as us.
Ooh. So what does that mean for the people that say that they're experiencing symptoms?
And thank you. It's interesting because I was about to say something and I'm like, I don't want to go there, but they're saying you have to go there, so I'm going to go there. I know we've been able in our human minds able to identify that there are symptoms and things that we're going through. For me personally, what I feel often is that sometimes I get huge waves and I'll feel it physically in my body and I will get really dizzy. And sometimes I even have to hold myself. Mm-hmm. And in my own interpretation, what I've come to realize when I've seen that and felt that is that I've been shown that we as a humanity keep jumping timelines which reflect the ascension. So it's a little different, the idea of it. Thank you, but I'm audibly hearing them say to go there. The thing that's so beautiful is that as a collective, the more and more we wake up, the more and more we realize who we are and who we came here to be and who we came to remind each other to be, the more we step into this, thank you, into co-creative coherence, thank you, that allows us to move into different planes, which allows the reality that we exist in, thank you, to enter a different plane of existence that our human mind may play with in the concept of jumping a timeline. We jump into, thank you, different realities and timelines in which we are experiencing more of our true self. And when you're saying the symptoms, what happens is that those of us who are more in tune and who are more aware and more available, thank you, more available to being in resonance with what's happening, we might feel it in our physical form in unique ways. And I'm going to say unique because it is unique to all of us, even though many of us can say we understand what it feels and what it stirs within us. For example, for me, as I said, I feel a lot. I feel it as waves. Sometimes I feel like very dizzy. Sometimes I feel exhausted, like an exhaustion that I cannot give words to. Thank you. Okay, thank you. And for those who are feeling the exhaustion, have you felt that as well with the symptoms?
I have. But for me, I think I become kind of hazy, and I go into like a kind of almost like a gray area where I don't know exactly what I should be doing. I get confused.
And thank you I am so grateful for her. I'm getting chills. This is good. So I'm going to go into the tiredness real quick. So one of the things that they're saying, thank you, that when your body is feeling the exhaustion, the most important thing, thank you, what you're being invited to do is to dwell in the space of love. Because what's happening is that your physicality, your physical body is going through a change, a physical change. You know, sometimes I wake up in the middle of the night, and they're saying to share this as well as I'm talking about the physical and why we feel tired and why we need to rest and why we need to lay down, is because there's DNA being awakened within you. There's remembrance that's being woken up within you. DNA that has been placed within your physical body that is ready and has been ready to wake up. It's been part of our destined arrival. It's been part of what our little bodies knew, and the new ones that are coming in. We have special DNA that has been, thank you, divinely implanted, let's say it like that, even though that's not the best word, but that's the best word that I can give it to. Thank you. And it allows us to step up and show up when it's time. It allows us to step up and show up when we're ready. It allows us to step up and show up in ways that our physical body can transcend some of what this physicality has brought to us and shown to us, so that we can show up more in alignment, so that we can recreate the planet, we can recreate our reality, and we can be part of that form that shows up to change things in this world. And when she said about feeling dazed and confused, as she was saying that, I was being shown the vision of the idea that the divine is working with our minds,
Sure.
the brain, and it's rewiring our ability to see in this physicality the light that is all around us. And it doesn't mean that we don't see it, because I know she sees it, we see it, we experience it, thank you. But the rewiring that's taking place helps us to thank you. It helps us to abandon the past and the history that has kept us in this form and in a box that does not allow us to step into our authentic truth of who we are and who we're meant to remind others of as well.
Wow. Yeah, that's exciting.
It is very exciting. It is very exciting.
So have they told us how long this ascension process is going to take?
Thank you. So what I'm hearing from Divine is that this has been a movement that has been happening for centuries. And it's a movement that will continue to evolve as we are evolving with the progress. There's a lot of changes, thank you, that are happening and that will be happening in our physicality, not just with our physical bodies, not just with the way we see reality in our personal lives, thank you, but also how reality is seen and perceived and being implemented, thank you, by even governing. I'm not going to go too much into that, but the governing, oh gosh, what's the word you want me to use for that?
Bodies?
Yes, thank you. Great word, thank you. The governing bodies. Like, these are actual changes that we're going to be seeing more than what we've seen so far, thank you. A lot of truths are going to be coming out, which it's also why we are being prepared. We are being prepared because as different truths are revealed, thank you, and a lot of things come up so that we can be part of that co-creative change more deliberately as light workers, as souls. So as all this stuff comes out even more into the open, it allows us to be in a place of alignment in a way in which we can show up and respond and lead. Thank you. Oh, I love that. Lead wayers. We could be the light wayers, the way showers. They keep saying, like, apparently there's many different ways to say this. And that can go ahead and help people transcend what might be triggered from the changes. And we're already seeing that. We are already seeing that some of the changes that are happening are triggering certain things within people that have us leaning into our history, leaning into our past and how we should respond. But right now we are entering a time in which we're being asked to respond very differently from what we have known. And what does that mean? We're being asked to respond from the soul, from what that awakened soul would have us do, from that what awakened soul would have us explore, what that awakened soul would have us lean into. Because as we're creating this new reality, it does require us to put aside, to set aside and abandon that what's old. And on some level, understanding that the way our human minds work, we find comfort in what we've known.
Sure.
And all of us have to deliberately confront that part of us that might be leaning into that comfort. And we have to choose, like we talked about, the power of choice. We need to lean into and choose to really move through the discomfort that's part of the human, so we can lean and experience the full comfort, the full faith, the full power of the soul, how it shows up within us and also all around us as well.
So for me, it has to do with choosing to be peaceful regardless of what's going on.
Yes, and thank you. And I'll share a quick personal story.
Sure.
Because a lot of times I hear from people, oh my gosh, life must be so easy for you because you hear guidance, you get shown things, you get people brought into your life, like things that just seem magical. And I'm like, no, it's happening to all of us. It's that I deliberately choose to pay attention. I deliberately choose to welcome. Thank you. And one of the things that I see the most is that we have forgotten that we have to choose to receive, that we have to be willing to receive.
Yeah.
So when we talk about the peace, it's not my favorite story in the sense because it was very hard for me in this human body, but one of my favorite things to share is that when one of my daughters has a lot of medical disabilities, and our time in the hospital was it was a lot. And one of my favorite experiences in witnessing the divine, this does not mean it was my favorite experience in regards to being in this human body, but my daughter had stopped breathing. The ambulance came and picked her up. She was fully blue, and I get emotional every time I say this part.
Oh, honey.
But she was fully blue, and they took her to the ER, and they put her in the triage unit, and they were going to cut right here because she was being poisoned by the carbon dioxide. And it was very chaotic, and I don't feel they even noticed that I was there, but I was holding her hand, talking to her, and the emergency doctors had rushed in, and everybody's like going all over trying to figure out what to do, what to start. And when they were about to cut, everything stood still. Time stood still. Everything. The doctors. It's kind of like in the Matrix or in the sci-fi movie where everything. And as I stood there, what I call the Holy Spirit, divine, entered the room. And it was like a blanket surrounded the room and surrounded the space. And when that blanket surrounded the space, I audibly heard, you can choose the peace that's here instead. Because as a mother, I felt very chaotic. And every time I get emotional, because it brings back, a lot of things. So I was being asked to choose the peace that was there instead versus the chaos that I was feeling, the chaos that the doctors were feeling, the chaos that was being felt energetically, right? Energetically in the whole room. So what I did is that I closed my eyes, put my hand in my heart, took a deep breath, and I said, I choose the peace instead. And it wasn't just a conscious, I'm just going to say it because I was shown to say it. I chose to feel it. I chose to feel it, and I chose to believe it. And as soon as I chose to believe that, and as soon as I chose to be that and welcome that instead of the chaos, she went ahead and took a deep breath. And it's as if time went unpaused, and she took in a deep breath, and she was back to normal. The doctors called it a miracle because she went from extreme blue to like all of a sudden breathing. But what happened is that I chose the peace that was there versus the chaos. And that's just one of the examples, but it is my favorite to share because it's very extreme, and it's one that is really a thing that awakened my knowing in a very tangible way beyond what anything else, that has been prior to that.
That's really, really powerful. And I have to share with you that one of the things that we've done in our meditation, some of my meditations for peace, is blanketing the Middle East with peace. So I thought your choice of words was so cool. And these meditations, they're only 7 minutes a day, but peace is so profound.
Yes.
And we can go into that deep stillness. And from that place, and we're all united in that unified field. Woo!
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And what I'm audibly hearing too, it's like anytime we choose to bless another with peace, anytime we choose peace for ourselves, or anytime, we choose to re-engage the truth of peace, anytime we choose that, is as if there's a different veil that gets lifted. And what does that mean? The illusion that there's chaos, the illusion that there's all this stuff going on that we might feel overwhelmed by. The illusion that in so many ways we're being asked to reside in that, in that groundedness, that comfort of the soul, which has us respond in a way that more productively, resides and co-creates peace as well.
Oh, yeah. And so when we are creating more peace by being peace, and then because we're not limited to these bodies, then we can direct it wherever we want.
Yes. And thank you. And one of the things too and thank you for saying about like blanketing, that's just beautiful that you've been doing that, because one of the things that we are asked every day is to take time to bless another. Now, I know we all know that, but like to actually intentionally do that daily. But when we do that, to also include the blessing upon ourselves. So, a lot of times we spend time showing up for others, blessing, doing prayers, and I say it for most of us light workers because we're so heart-based, heart-centered, and we just want to love, we want to cultivate, we want to share. So as we do that, thank you. What they're audibly saying and reminding is that as you do that for another, go ahead and also take the moment to receive as well, which is what I shared a little bit earlier. One of the things that I see that most people in this human physical body may struggle with is opening up to receive.
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you. They're saying it so loudly. The abundance of source, the abundance of the infinite, the abundance that is so much a part of who we are.
Well, absolutely. And when we give, we automatically receive on a spiritual level.
Yes.
And so, it's a spiritual law.
Yes.
Giving and receiving are the same, but how many of us are not able to receive when someone wants to do something nice for us?
Yes.
It's more comfortable to give, but not really to receive. So it's blessed to receive.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
It really is. And, thank you. Thank you. And it's like you said, it's like it creates this, okay, thank you. They don't want me to say the word creates.
Generates?
It emphasizes the wheel of life, the wheel of the soul, which is that it is continually an engagement of giving and receiving. Thank you. And when we just allow ourselves to be in that space in which we choose to be in that, thank you, of that space to receive, it allows us to awaken gifts that were meant to be awakened, that are being pulled from us to be awakened. And it's about understanding that as you receive, you become a portal of source in a way that you can amplify what is being gifted and shared through you as well.
Oh, that's so beautifully said.
Thank you.
So nice you have these wonderful guides that just, woo.
I love to say we all do. People are like, oh, it must be, and I'm like, no, this is my vision. My mission is to remind people that we all have these conversations all the time. But we all have it very uniquely, very unique ways.
Absolutely.
And it's okay, thank you. And it's never about downplaying how you receive your own guidance. Is to allow yourself to dwell in the space in which you can receive the guidance. Because when you do that, it's amazing how it literally becomes a mirror all around you. And it's as if divine speaks from everything and anything at all times. And it's just us dwelling in that space. Thank you. And allowing ourselves to feed the portals and the paths in which divine speaks to us directly. Because all of us get spoken to, and I know
Absolutely.
We all know that.
Yeah.
But that's a reminder in case you're forgetting.
And I know for me, it actually comes through me, and I don't hear it until I say it.
Yes.
Which is so interesting.
Yes.
It just comes right out. So none of the meditations I do are scripted in any way. They just come right through. Yes. And I never know where they're going to go.
It's cute because as she's talking, I'm being shown like a light crystal, like a, oh my gosh, the megaphone?
Yes.
That's what they're showing me as she's speaking. Like she becomes, how we in crystals, how
Yes.
we charge them and how we bless them and how we feel like we receive guidance from our crystals. They just showed me that, they just showed me a beautiful crystal on her throat that looked like a megaphone. Like she becomes that, and I love that.
I love that. That's so
Yes.
beautiful.
Yes.
So what advice would you give for people to access more of the peace in their lives?
Yes. Thank you. So what I'm audibly hearing is to choose to co-create with it. What does that mean? It's not about trying to find where there's peace in your life right now. It's not about trying to find where's peace in my life right now for me to go ahead but how can you go ahead and design more peace in your life? How can you design more peace in your life? So for example, it could be that if you're a busy mom or a busy dad, and life has pulled you in so many directions that it's hard for you to find yourself grounded or in balance or feeling peaceful. It's about you identifying what can you implement in your day to allow it to design peace. That could be Tai Chi, Qigong, meditation, prayer, dance, enjoying your shower a little longer. And I'm going to say that because there's a girl that I work with, and we just did a session with her, a coaching session with her. And in the vision, they showed me her taking a shower. And they were saying that that's how she opens up to channeling, to divine guidance. Like, this is how she connects. And it was really cool because she's like, oh my gosh, I really do love taking showers. So that was a way for her to design more peace, more connection, more alignment, more communication. So her own shift in understanding that was her portal to receive and become that energy, that source, that peace, the more it became her norm in her day. So the question is, what can you do in your day? Thank you, proactively, they're saying, proactively do in your day to design more peace in your life, to add more peace in your life. Thank you. To amplify the peace that is already within and wanting to express itself. So another thing that I know for me for sure, that I love meditation, but it could be that I walk or I sit outside and admire nature. It could be that for some of you, it could be that you doodle. I have another client that they put her to doodle. And when she doodles, she taps into that energy. She taps into that source. Yeah. She taps into that alignment. Have a guy that he does it through Tai Chi. When he came to me, he worked for a corporation, felt very stressed, very overwhelmed, and they showed me a vision of him doing this. And he's like, oh wow, I used to do that when I was younger. So he said, it was really cool. He started to do that every morning for 15 minutes, and he feels and he felt that it's as if his day added time. He said, I don't know how it happened, but I feel like I have more time in my day to get done what I want to do. I feel more relaxed, more balanced. So it's about what can you do to design more peace. And it's not because you're going to make it happen. You are designing so it could be morphed more productively in your day and in your life as well.
And we conveniently have a 7-minute meditation at noon every day.
Yes.
Noon Eastern or 9 a.m. in Pacific. And it's available, and it really does make a shift.
Yes.
You know, people have been experiencing such amazing changes and shifts from it.
And we just saw, I just shared the beautiful crystal that's on her throat. So when she guides us through these meditation, you do get placed into a beautiful state of alignment. So, which is a powerful thing.
And I do too.
Yes, yeah. As she shares, right, she receives and she gives. So it's like that whole beautiful, that beautiful 8 that I see. You know, it's like the giving and the receiving, which increases your tapping into the infinite, and it increases the resourcefulness of the soul, so it can show up everywhere in your life.
So basically, I want to recap so far. We have the ascension symptoms are just part of what's happening now, and we can just accept and love where we are. Yes. That's it.
Yes. And also know that, okay, thank you. Also know that it's not about the ending, like when is it going to stop? It's to celebrate that it's going to keep amplifying in such a magical way that that's all we will know ourselves in, through that awakened self. So it's one of those things that these changes that we're experiencing are actually leading us into an arrival that we came here to be part of. We're not going to miss it. We're not behind. We are right on time. And the more that you choose to show up as best as you can, it doesn't have to be perfect, but as best as you can, the more you become part of this new reality that is already here. But it's really about shifting our perspective and our awareness in a way in which that being becomes part of all we know.
So we have a choice. We can look at all of the violence in the world, all the tumult, all the drama, or we can that appears to be happening, or we can choose to go more inward and look at peace. You know, we have that choice, like every instant. We have that choice. I'm going to choose peace. right now.
Yes.
So,
and also too, it's understanding that, in human terms, there are things that are happening. So, we can't say there's peace, peace, peace and ignore there's things that are happening. But understanding that your choice of what you choose to feed, what you choose to give energy to, what you choose to give attention, that is what you choose to amplify and feed. So by you choosing peace, by you taking time, to restore the self, to heal the self, to bring yourself forth into that love, the more you do that, the more you energetically, and they're giving me a vision if one of us chooses that daily, the energy that emanates from us literally moves in waves and in ways that really allow things to shift all the way across the world,
yeah.
on the other side of the world. It could be that your choice to align and choose peace, what awakens a miracle for a child to be healed in another country, or awakens the miracle for a family to be saved, or opens up the doorway, opens up the doorway and the pathway for someone to find safety and refuge.
So that's so true, yeah. Because we're all one.
Yes.
And so we're all united. This is just all one mind.
Yes.
That we all share with our divine.
Yes. Yes.
So how beautiful. And so we have to monitor our thoughts because they have power.
Yes.
And when we step into this place of our accepting our divinity and our divine purpose, and be pure of heart. Wow.
Yes. And as you're saying that too, I'm audibly hearing it's like, honor your human self, because you came here to be human. You didn't come here to be perfect. So honor that you're here to be human right now. And that's perfect. And that in your humanness, you have this amazing power. You yourself are a portal every day. That depending on what you choose to feed, what you choose to give attention to, what you choose to engage with, whatever it is you choose, you allow that to become part of your portal's feeding and part of what your portal moves and shifts and aligns and co-creates new realities, new worlds, new potentialities that doesn't just bless you with your momentum, it blesses us all.
Well, that's pretty profound.
It is all profound though, right? It's always profound. Life is profound. Our breath is so profound.
But I think we also have to really not be very serious.
Yes. Oh, yes. I will say, Spirit, I am constantly laughing.
Me too.
Yes. It's like, thank you. Oh, I love that. It's really the joy of the Spirit. It's like we have to really understand that we are being invited to embody the joy of the Spirit. The Spirit is not like organized and like needing to get like these protocols need to be followed. No, it's like we need to engage with the truth and the fact that we are meant to be joyful beings.
Yes.
We are meant, and I'm getting chills everywhere. We're meant to dance with life. We're meant to play with life. We're meant to engage with other physical souls, right? To play and really, dance in the energy of love, dance in the energy of life, and really just understand that spirituality and divine is not something serious. And I'm going to say serious because it is important.
Yes.
Right? It is important and it is sacred, but also we are sacred and all things are sacred. And the more we remember that, the more we cherish that truth that everything is sacred. Everything, the floor, the water, we are sacred. The more we remember that, we awaken that more within us so that we can engage with the joy of the Spirit, the light of the Spirit, the beauty of the Spirit. I love that. The receptivity of the Spirit. This is what they just said.
I love that.
Yes.
Well, you all have to tune in for Emily's meditation. We're really looking forward for that.
Thank you. I'm looking forward to sharing. So thank you for the opportunity.
Okay, wonderful. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Yes.
So much love, so many blessings.
Thank you. Bye.